Whiz kids keep putting out titles, and I just keep talking about them. Dungeons & Dragons Dice Masters Battle for Faerun. This is a 2-player game for ages 14 and up and should take you between 30 and 60 minutes to play. Dungeons & Dragons Dice Masters Battle for Faerun is a game that utilizes WizKids Games' proprietary dice-building game platform in which 2 players take the role of warlords, collecting and assembling their party of adventuring dice, and battle in head-to-head gameplay. Each turn, players roll the dice to see what resources they have available, buy dice, send their party members into the field, and then strike at the enemy warlord. There are multiple cards available for each type of dice, so players get to choose which one to use. This lets players specialize in dice to suit each different play style. Additional cards and dice to expand your collection can be found in expansion packs. Each foil pack contains 2 cards and 2 dice that players can add to their Dice Masters Battle for Faerun collection. Players can create teams of their favorite fantasy characters from the Forgotten Realms universe. You can expect to see some of the most recognizable monsters and characters, such as kobolds, beholders, mind flayers, dragons, drow, and many more. The Dungeons & Dragons Dice Master line will consist of starter sets, booster packs, play mats, and a storage box. That's a lot of information, especially about upcoming stuff. You usually don't see that in a publisher blurb about what's upcoming for the product. But they did have a lot of faith going into this game when they first rolled it out, I guess. All right, so let me say this. I was thinking that there needs to be a really good Dungeons & Dragons dice chucking game, and I came across this. So let me tell you what I learned about it. Now, hold on. Before I get into this, I do have to admit up front that there was one very negative thing for me about this, and I want to say this now, get it over with, and then get on with everything else. Now, this is a collectible dice game. I want to make sure you're clear on that. Just like a collectible card game, booster packs and such will not have the same dice and cards as other booster packs in the same exact set. You're going to be hunting down rare, ultra rare, hard to find dice and cards if you do go down this rabbit hole. With that being said, let me tell you what I found out about it. Well, reviewers are saying that this is a fast, easy game to both learn and teach. You're going to have it learned on the table and playing within minutes. That's great. That's a goal of pretty much any game you're going to buy, right? You want to be able to pick up the rules right away and start playing as soon as you want to start playing. So that's always good to hear and know about a game. Now, when you're actually playing the game, it seems to me that, from what I've been reading and seeing, that this is going to be a very fast-paced game. It's going to be a fast, back-and-forth, dice-chucking game of fantasy action. It's going to keep you glued. There's going to be there's going to be no real downtime between player turns. And that's great, because downtime really kills the feel, the atmosphere, the pacing of a good board game. Now, this game is also, remember going into this, because of the dice chucking aspect of it, it is heavily luck favored. But it's not all luck with the cards that you have. The ability that you can choose dice, manipulate dice, is going to change things and add a bit of strategy to the game. I'm very glad to learn that, because if it was just purely a luck-driven dice-chucking game, I don't think it would be worth it. So it's good to find out that it's not, that there is mechanics in the game, in the rules, to allow and promote strategy and plotting and planning. You need that. That's what really, I think, entertains the mind when you're playing a game. And now, I'll admit up front, I'm not the biggest Forgotten Realms fan. I'm an old-school Greyhawk grognard, and I still prefer Greyhawk. But I know Forgotten Realms. And it's nice to see some of the specific characters from this universe, this aspect of the Dungeons & Dragons multiverse, if you will. It's nice to see the familiarity there of it. I'm digging that, and I know that fans of Forgotten Realms and a lot of these characters are really going to be tickled. They're gonna love seeing it and getting a chance to place them on teams. And that's another thing that I kind of dig. I think is interesting is to take these characters that are well known to the Dungeons & Dragons players, at least of the Forgotten Realms titles, which I think is most players these days, to see them come together and be put in teams that in the stories, in the modules, and the online stuff, you're never going to find them having any reason maybe to be together. But if that's your dream team, if that's your fantasy football team of Dungeons & Dragons heroes and monsters, then you're going to get a chance to do it. That's really cool. I'm honestly not sure how many more expansions they're planning on coming out with, but there are several already. So it just didn't die on its feet. That's another thing I like, because if I enjoy a game, I know in most cases I want more. Whether it's to add on to replayability, or it's just a feeling of FOMO, I guess, to some degree. But I do. When I like a game, I want more of it. So it is really good to see that they did add in these expansion boxes, and there's the booster packs. So hooray on that. Kudos WizKids. Now, overall, I really do feel that the majority of the reviews are more positive than anything else about this game. It has been enjoyed by a lot of people since it first came out in about 2015. That's another good sign. It's almost 10 years old, and there are people still talking about this game, still playing this game. And with the amount of new games that roll out regularly, that really is a positive statement to make. So I think if you like Dungeons & Dragons and you enjoy chucking some dice, you might want to look into this game a little more. Find some playthroughs. That'll be the best way for you to learn whether you enjoy a game or not. A lot better than listening to my disembodied voice or some floating head that tells you what they think. Just watch some playthroughs, and you'll learn better than any other way whether you might potentially like a game. So go, check out some information, watch some playthroughs, and tell me what you think of Dungeons & Dragons Dice Masters.